Hi there, it's Russell Smith, the CEO and co-founder of TwoShape here. And for this video, we are going to jump into ideal customer personas and specifically, what are they, why they matter, how to create them, and how to use them. Now, an ideal customer persona is something that is really foundational to marketing, and it is something that we at TwoShape use for every single client that we engage with. We've used it for our business as well. And it's something that is really, really important for all businesses, regardless of what industry you're in, that you should look to consider implementing before you look at a digital marketing strategy. So the goal for today is that we're going to give you a brief overview, and then there's a number of tools that I'm going to put in this blog post that you can reference and look to apply for your business. So let's kick things off. What is a persona and why is it important? Well, ideal customer persona is a representation of your perfect customer. So it's really a starting point for all businesses to understand who you should be targeting and how you want to go about communicating to them. And it allows us to personalize and target all of our marketing efforts, and it becomes the basis for how we reach out to the market. It really anchors and it focuses every single thing that we do for our marketing. So depending on your business, you could have multiple personas, but my recommendation is that you always start off with a core one, and you can evolve it over time. So just make sure that you really start simple. And in addition to an ideal customer persona, you can also do negative personas, and that is highlighting who you don't want to your business, because I'm sure that there's sorts of customers that you are not in your target market, you don't want them for your business, they might not be a fit for whatever reason. And sometimes that's also a really good point to start, is saying who you don't want as your customer, and then that can get you to who you do want. And so in summation for what is a persona and why are they important is that it's the foundation for who you're going to attract to your business and how you go about attracting them to your business. And if you're ever in doubt for the sorts of marketing programs that you should look to do, always go back to your persona. Think, what would your persona want? And that really anchors your efforts. So how do you create a persona? You must have a strategic and a balanced approach. And so there's a number of different ways you can go about doing it. You could look at some market research. You could interview your customers, your ideal customers that you have, or any prospects. You could map to your existing customer groups and the ones that you really like and that you want more of. And you can speak to your sales team as well. Who are they interacting with? Who are they having success with? Who are the sorts of clients that they're bringing towards your business? And so we've done all four of these with our clients before, and we've had a lot of success with all of them. And so it doesn't matter which one you employ, just look to have some sort of science behind looking to create your persona. And then in addition to that, the key is that it really must be objective and data driven. So don't go making assumptions about who your ideal customer is, because then that's going to be the tail leading the dog. And so you need to ensure that everything you do is really objective and it's tested and it's refined over time. So you do have a clear view of who your customer is. So third section is, how do you use a persona? Well, once you've built your persona, you then create tailored content based upon the journey. And so what that means is that if you put yourself in your persona's shoes, you need to think, what is it that I would want to hear from a business? What is the sort of thing that is super compelling to me? As an example, TwoShape, we look to work with small businesses. And we know that our ideal customer persona is likely someone who is the CEO of a business, or they're quite high up in the business. You're looking to grow your business. You have a pretty good understanding of how you run your business, and you're very good at what it is that you do. But you might not necessarily have a really clear understanding of marketing and the current marketing trends. You probably don't have time to do your marketing, and you actually really just want to outsource your marketing to someone else. And so that's how we've gone about building our persona. So our content that we build is all about resonating with that as an ideal customer. And so that means that we need to be able to develop things that have you say, yeah, okay, that makes sense for the way in which I conduct my business. I want to go and have a conversation with TwoShape. And we very simply call it the right message, the right person, in the right format, at the right time. And that's something that is going to be refined over time. So let's jump into an example of a persona. And as I mentioned before, we've got templates for all of this that you can use and start to go through. So here's an example of someone that we just call Johnny Management. And the first part is background and demographics. So we're suggesting that Johnny is a male, 30 to 45. He's a general manager type, graduate, married with young kids. That's his income, and he works in the central business district. So we've got those kind of just general background of who this person is. The key identifiers is that we believe Johnny Management to be thoughtful, considerate. He likes education, likes researching, and he really likes to talk to people face-to-face, or he can email with them. Watering holes is a third part, and that's really just a slang term saying where do they hang out? What do they read? Where do they get their information? That sort of thing. And this sort of stuff helps with where we could potentially position your business to say this is where we need to put you. So management self-help books, the internet, The Economist, credible sources, that sort of thing. This is where this person gets all of their information. Now we start to get into a really important part. And it's about understanding what are their drivers. And so what is it that drives this person? And this person here, Johnny Management, we see as being ambitious, wants to progress in his career and wants to be a better leader. He wants to grow his knowledge base, and he's passionate about learning. And so already we have a pretty good understanding of the sorts of positioning that we can put around for a business. But the challenges are for him is that he wants to get to the top, the pointy end, as we call it, of his company, but there's challenges around that. And so developing high-end executive level skills or polish is something that is very, very important to him and would address one of his challenges. This is an example here of, we've built this for a training company, just for the context. And so here we would say, why would he not engage with this training company? And he would say, well, getting time off work could be really difficult, or a financial outlay could be difficult. So we're looking at the blockers that he has. And then how is it that we look to explain the company that we have? So again, this is a training company, and we want to say we're a training provider and a consulting company. We deliver high performance training. It's about leadership, culture, strategy, and decision making. And then finally, what are the key hooks? So this is what comes at the very end. And this is what is the really fun part for when you build out a persona, is that you've built up the context around their background, their identifiers, where they get their information, what are their goals and what are their blockers. And now you say, well, how do we address all of these and be able to deliver that really critical message to them and apply that to our content so they show some interest in our business? And we would say the courses that we develop as the training company, they're going to take your career to the next level. You're going to become an effective leader, and your team will be highly engaged as a result. And so that idea is that it's going to resonate with this persona, and so they then look to engage with our business. So that's a very brief overview of the structure and the template of how we go about building a persona. And then the next part is then about developing a story and developing a narrative around it. And what we like to do here is it really humanizes the persona, and it turns him into a real person. And so we can tell a story. And so as an example, at 2Shape here, we can actually tell a story about who our personas are. And we know that the way in which we describe them is the way in which they are in real life. And so this has manifested itself in Johnny Management's story. And I'm not going to spend all the time running through this because there's a lot of words there, but it's saying, like, he's a real go-getter. He wants to rise through the professional ranks. He reads a lot. He takes a great deal of satisfaction out of doing his job well. And then the second part is saying, how is it that our company is then going to help him? Is that our company will help our persona achieve his goals by developing his leadership to progressing through the management ranks. And then we continue on from there. And so really, the key takeaway here is that Johnny Management's story is the manifestation of building out his persona. So we have a really clear view of how we go about speaking to this persona. So in summary, let's just look back at a couple of the key points here for persona development, why they're important, how you build it. And at its purest level, An ideal customer persona is a representation of your perfect customer. It allows us to personalize and target all of our marketing efforts, and we should always start with it and we should always refer back to it. So if you're ever getting confused as to what sort of program or what sort of content or communication you should develop, go back to your customer persona and think what would resonate with them. Depending on your business, you could have multiple customer personas, but that's quite an advanced take. Is I would ensure you just start with one and then you can build it out over time and get it right initially and then build it out. And finally, you can always develop your negative personas as well. So if you're having a bit of time struggling with who your persona is, think about who your persona is not and the person that you don't want in your business for a variety of reasons. And then that will help shape who your persona is. And we use negative personas a lot because we're trying to be very targeted with our approach to our customers, because that's how we're going to be able to provide the most value to our customers. And so it's really important there. So look, that's it on customer personas. Again, I'll put some more information in the written section of this post. And if you do have any questions, always feel free to reach out to us here at 2Shape, and we'd love to have a discussion with you about your marketing and potentially how we can help with it. All right, thanks and have a great day.